Filed in Maricopa County Superior Court on behalf of the local chapter of Planned Parenthood and of behalf of two doctors. They allege the 15-week ban interferes with pregnant Arizonans' fundamental right to an abortion and to individual autonomy. The law conflicts with Prop 139, the constitutional amendment approved by voters in November to expand access up to the point of fetal viability. The Republican-controlled Arizona legislature approved that 15-week ban before the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022, but it didn't go into effect until after. Today, a spokesperson for Attorney General Chris Mays said the AG agreed not to enforce the 15-week ban while the lawsuit plays out in court.